Hello pilots and welcome back to another X-Wing flight video brought to you by Out of Art Gaming. As always, my name is Phil and we have another fantastic matchup for you today with some Rebels versus Separatists. This is myself versus Wes from the other night when we actually managed to get in store to play. Another fantastic game that we had here, and it was so good to get the ships actually on the board. This is going to be Scramble the transmissions this time. And let's quickly run through those lists. So I am on the left hand side. I've switched from Empire over to the Rebels, and we are starting off with Gavin Darklighter in the E-Wing with Pattern Analyzer, Fire Control System and R3 Astromech. Love the E-Wing, great to have it on the board. We've got Kullbee Sperado in the T-65 X-Wing with Marksmanship, Proton Rockets and the Servomotor S-Foils. Cassian Andor is here in the U-Wing with Elusive, Fire Control System, Magva Yarro, Ablative Plating and the Pivot Wing. We've also got Arvel Crynyd with Elusive and Marksmanship in the RZ-1 A-Wing, and rounding off the list we also have Klivian in the A-Wing as well with Marksmanship and Rockets. Now on the other side, Wes is running his Separatists. He's got Dirge in the Rogue class with Deadeye Shot and Proton Cannons. Going to be loving all of that bullseye mechanic. We've got DIS T-81 with Outmaneuver, Afterburners and the Contingency Protocol in the Tri-Fighter. This is the Siege of Coruscant Tri-Fighter. We've got 066 in the Scimitar or Sith Infiltrator with Heavy Laser Cannon, Thermal Detonators, Ablative Plating and the Scimitar title. Really nice to actually see the Sith Infiltrator on the board. Didn't really see much of it previously, so good to have it back on the board. We've also got the Andor Oppressor in the HMP with multi-missile pods, proximity mines and repulsor lift stabilizers. So expect some 180 arc and side slip action there from that one. And rounding off this, we have the bombardment drone in the Hyena with seismic charges, collidet, and delayed fuses. So quite nice to see a Separatist list that isn't just full of Ultra Droids. Obviously, we do have the Hyena and HMP, but it's nice to see something a little bit different. So it'll be interesting to see how these go. A lot of munitions and devices there for Wes, hoping to catch my ships out, I can imagine. But we are set up quite cagily, both in opposite corners of the board. Both of us do have the speed to make that engagement quite quickly, but looks like the bombardment drone is going to try and get in there as quickly as possible and see if he can drop a seismic charge right in the middle, which is going to be quite scary. And we'll see who ends up picking up the objectives early doors from round 2 as to where a lot of the scoring is going to be. Now, as a reminder, we are using the XWA points for this. Pretty much everything we're going to have on channel now will most likely be the XWA points, as they're the community-based ones. They're really good. A few tweaks here and there could be handy. Looking at you, Anakin Skywalker in the Y-Wing, but generally we're quite liking the way that this has been done. It really opens up for more variety in the ships, which is quite nice. As you see, we've got good variety in Wes's, and almost all of the letters covered by mine. We're just missing the B-Wing. Well, okay, B, Y, and K are missing, but unfortunately it's only 20 points. Would be nice to have one of every lettered wing in there, but that would definitely be more than 20 points. It looks like we're definitely going to have some shenanigans down that bottom edge there. We've got, obviously, as I said, Kullbee Sperado down there, who I really like his action. After you perform a barrel roll or boost action, you may flip your equipped config upgrade card. So that allows you to obviously have the servomotors flipped so that you can get the boost action in there. Really move up, but then flip it over so you don't then suffer the penalty for when you're attacking with one fewer attack die. So really nice and aggressive on an I4. Not a bad position for that to be as well. But my two main support pieces in this, Cassian Andor, who is going to be invaluable. At the start of the activation phase, you may choose one friendly ship at range 1 to 3. If you do, that ship removes one stress token. That is such a good ability, such a rebel ability, just to reactivate and reopen up all of the options for your ships there. So these A-Wings looking to do double actions. The E-Wing as well has a few good red actions in there. So being able to open those up to allow you to then go, oh yeah, I got stressed last turn, but it's okay, is going to be really fun. But the big one here, Gavin Darklighter in the E-Wing. So while a friendly ship forms an attack, if the defender is in your forward arc, the attacker may change one hit result to a crit. That is going to be huge. Especially we've got a couple of ships on Wes's side that don't have shields, so getting crits in early is going to be very handy there. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But again, Wes has got a pretty cool and interesting list there, so looking forward to see how that goes. We've obviously got Dirge, who can essentially come back from the dead, which is a really cool ability. As well, the dead to rights on the rogue class, I absolutely love that. So while you forward attack, if the defender is in your bullseye, defense dice cannot be modified using green tokens. It really plays into Deadeye Shot, and the proton cannons there as well can make that very, very painful. Also, I do quite like the fact that we've got the Tri-Fighter on there is really cool. DIS is a really interesting one. So while you defend or perform an attack, you may reroll any number of your dice. And if you're defending, gain one strain token for each die that was rerolled. If you're attacking, gain one deplete token for each die that was rerolled instead. Quite a risky one, but also can be quite interesting, giving you some extra rerolls in there. But we have our first attack coming in. It looks like it is the bombardment drone taking the cheeky shot at the A-Wings, but there are plenty of evades there. One thing the A-Wing is not lacking for is an incredible dial and plenty of green dice. Be interesting to see if we see the Scimitar cloak at any point with that title on there. Obviously it's a free title, so may as well have it on there just on the off chance that you do decide to use it, but it's not often we see a big ship like that cloak and decloak, so it'll be quite fun to see if we do. And grabbing the first objective marker there. So the red tokens will denote an objective that I've captured, blue will denote one that Wes has captured. So if you're trying to keep score without looking at the top, there is how we're going to be doing that. But big 5 forward from Derek there. Very much not wanting to go straight down the teeth of that Separatist gun line. That does look quite scary. Multi-missile pods on the underarm. proton cannons on Dirge, and then obviously dropping some devices there from them as well. So you've got a lot of devices on Wes's side. Got thermal detonators, proxy mines, colonet, delayed fuses. They are going to be something to be wary of. And can be used as a great deterrent as well. Nice hard turn there from the bombardment drone. Obviously, quite a shame that this variant isn't able to take any munitions, because that'd be quite a nice spot for them to get some munitions going. Going a bit wider there with the HMP, but it's got the 180 arc, so it does give you a little bit more freedom and flexibility there. Obviously, the 180 arc works really nicely with the multi-missile pods as well. Can still use those in that arc, but I like the multi-missile pods. Then one charge, if the defender is in your forward arc, you may spend one charge to roll one additional attack dice. If they're in your bullseye, you may spend 2 to roll that many additional attack dice. So that can make the multi-missile pods quite scary. You could be getting up to 4 dice in the bullseye there. And you only need to calculate all target lock to shoot them, so works really well for the HMP, and all that's actually fit there quite nicely. See if we're taking a picture there, we'll pop that up on screen as well, so you can see just how close that was. That is very risky there, but very well played Wes, managing to land that and take that objective up the top. Probably a good idea. A bit far away for any actual shooting, so now moving down to, looks like Kullbee is going to be joining the party. Interesting that of the 10 ships on the board, only one of them is not an I4 or I3, with Dirge being the highest initiative on the board here. So a lot of opportunity for simultaneous fire, especially in the I3 step. 60% of the ships we have on here are I3s, so we will see potentially some really good exchange to fire between those ships if they get right close into the action. And we can see that Gavin's already got his locks out there. He's got one on Dirge and one on the bombardment drone. The E-Wing having the experimental scanners up, ship ability where you can lock beyond range 3, but you cannot acquire locks at range 1, which can be great. Can be really, really good to be able to get those long range locks. But when that fighting gets in close and you're not able to get that lock, it can be a little bit frustrating. And DIS all the way at the top there is going to have a long time trying to get back into this fight. But again, it has a very solid dial, so shouldn't have to wait too long. Has access to all the 2s and 3s, 4 straight, 5 straight, so we'll be able to get in there fairly quickly eventually. It has the boost as well, so 5 straight and a boost. We'll see it getting into the action before long. Although with that barrel roll, 5 straight probably not the best idea. Probably going to be seeing a 3 bang from it next turn to get into the fight, but we'll see. And a sticky situation for Dirge there, not great. Lined up a really nice shot on Gavin, but that obstacle is in a particularly awkward space. We're just talking through what's going to be best for him there, whether he does want to try and barrel roll out of there to make it a bit easier next turn, sacrifice that proton, or if he thinks that he'll be able to get away with it. Obviously being I5, knowing that it's highly unlikely Gavin's going to be anywhere near where he is right now in the next turn, and that Cassian can't quite get there. So Dirge could just decide, I'll go over that obstacle, but not really the ideal option. You don't really want to be giving up damage unless it's a really good opportunity for you. So just having a look whether barrel rolls would fit either way. Barrel rolling towards Wes's board edge would be... I'm not sure if it would fit. In fact, I'm almost positive that wouldn't fit. As to whether it would fit the other way towards the HMP, that would be very, very tight. Very hard to judge that with the angle of the camera. But the road does have access to the white hard one, so would probably be able to avoid going over that obstacle. We'll just have to be aware of what else might be in its way. Gavin could decide to be a pain, and Kullbee could quite easily get in there as well. So something Wes is going to have to consider, whether he's okay with just trying for that proton cannon shot. No green tokens on Gavin, so it's not going to be... Dead to Rights isn't going to trigger, but just going for the objective capture in the end. Obviously points are going to be incredibly important, but don't seem to be getting the check on the bullseye, but I assume from a quick glance they've probably determined it's out. So we're going to be going into Arvel, as that is unobstructed. Not bad. Green dice are looking good so far there. 2 evades. Now moving down to Gavin and Kullbee. Oh, just misses out on the bullseye, so no prockets from Kullbee there. That would have been lovely. I believe he does actually have the focus and lock, so double modded prockets would have been really nice, especially with marksmanship, and the bombardment train being in Gavin's forward arc, so ooh, blank out. Definitely going to be spending that lock there. Oh no, maybe that lock wasn't actually... Apologies, that lock must not have been Kullbee's then. That will be possibly one of the A-Wings. It's hard to see. There we go. This is Gavin going for his shot. spending the lock, getting another hit crit, and changing one up for Gavin. That is hit triple crits. We are going to be seeing a minimum of 3 crits going through here. This could be bad news. Apologies, 2 evade dice, but it is going to be 3 crits going through on the bombardment drone. Not having shields is, well, not good. But we've got a damaged engine, console fire, and a direct hit. So down to 1 in the first real round of shooting there, all ready for that bombardment drone, which is going to be unfortunate. He really wants to get a little bit further in and drop those seismics or colonnettes. But DIS well out of range there, so moving on to my 3, so nothing from Cassian. Both A-Wings, no shot there either, so moving down, we've got, looks like a range 3 from 066, which I've only just realised is basically Order 66. Plenty of evades there. No Jedis to take out on this side. Just checking the range there. I think it looks like we might be a mistrigger on the multi-missile pods. They are range 1 to 2, and that does look like it was a range 3 shot. We were too busy focusing on the actual flavor text on the card, so yeah, multi-missile pod probably should not be being shot here. Not making a difference in this turn of shooting. But yeah, multi-missile pods are range 1 to 2. And the console fire takes the bombardment drone out. He does still get to shoot because it is within the activation step for the I3s, but that is 3 points for myself. A very unfortunate set of crits there for bombardment drone. But he's still going to get to shoot. And looks like his target is going, there we go, it's going to be Arvel. Best option there. But the green dice are still well and truly in my favour there. That was a little bit unfortunate for Wes. Console fire is always a tricky one. If you've got 1 health left, console fire is 9 times out of 10 going to take that last hit from you. But that is everything shot. End of turn 2. Objectives scored. 1 additional point for me. So I'm up to 4, and Wes is on 2 with those objectives. Unfortunate with the bombardment drone. Seismic charge and colonnet could have been really interesting in the next couple of turns. But it's just the power of crits and Gavin Darklighter there really paying off for me. But interesting to see now where Dirge is going to go, how he's going to try and get out of that positioning there. Wes does have the initiative, so he is going to be moving his ships first, and Cassian is taking the stress off Derek there. Will both A-Wings look to go round that gas cloud in the top right, or bottom right, sorry. Looks like marking up Dirge to allow the Scimitar through. That's going to be close again. Is that going to fit? How close does that want to be? Again, another picture. We'll pop that up on screen so you can see just how close that was. 2 turns in a row, that Scimitar has managed to squeak through. I'm genuinely impressed. And there we go, Derek going around, all the way around there. Maybe to try and have a joust with a Scimitar. These little ships can be plucky and quite difficult to swat out of the air, so we'll see how that goes. And Arvel decided not to follow around and just coming through the middle there. Could line up a really nice shot there onto 066. Obviously, if Derek can get around there, he also has Proton Rockets, and that could be quite nasty into the Scimitar with only 1 evade. Right, let's see who's going to go first. Whether it's going to be Kullbee or Gavin. Obviously, after Cassian, who does go next. The options for Dirge are rapidly closing down as to where he can end up at this point. But that Tri-Fighter is finally making its way into the action there. It was in quite a nice position. Of the 4 ships on Wes's side remaining, only 2 actually have arc on him there with the HMP and the Tri-Fighters, so not a bad position for that little A-Wing to be. And Gavin manages to just fit that in there as well. Again, very impressive. Some very close flying here. And all depending on where Dirge ends up. Obviously, we've got the lock on there from Gavin, so won't be getting a double modded shot because Dirge will not be in a position in that forward arc to have modified shots against it if he doesn't clear. But let's see. I'm curious now. What is Dirge going to do? And Dirge looks like he was just going for the hard maneuver, which just bumps straight into Gavin there, which is not actually that bad for Dirge. It means that Gavin's unlikely to want to try and take that shot because he's not going to be able to modify. Gavin's ability also will not trigger because it's at range 0, so that shooting is probably going to be directed somewhere else. I mean, there's a 5-point ship right there with 3 ships pointing at it, all going to benefit from Gavin's ability, or could just go for DIS, as he's got a good few shots there as well. So I will say, obviously, there's a lot of health on the Scimitar, so if taking that Scimitar down could be very big. As well, heavy laser cannon, thermal detonators. There's a lot of things there to be cautious of. Oh, Dirge is just not having a great time there. 1 hit, but all the evades you need. Ooh. Oh yeah, sorry, DIS going first. Wes has the initiative. I thought for some reason that I was shooting Gavin into there. Calculate spend for 1. Will we see the DIS reroll and take the deplete? There it is. Oh, 3 hits and a crit. So we are definitely seeing some damage going through there. That's a pretty good roll. Taking both shields on Gavin, really want to keep that focus for that range 1 shot, either into DIS or 066. Only need to re-roll 1 as well, so only 1 strain token, so as long as DIS does a blue maneuver next turn, that will be coming off. But we have a range 1 shot here from Gavin. 4 dice with a focus. Doesn't need the focus, but does have the Gavin modification, so we've got 2 hits and a crit, so that's going to be 3 shields down, potentially 2 shields down. Would have been nice if I could have got all 4 shields down there for Kullbee to follow up with a procket. So we've got Marksmanship and Gavin here to try and get some crits in. No lock though, just the focus. And that's not particularly great, but it is going to be triple crits. The shields will definitely be down. Shields down and 1 crit on the Scimitar. That is half health at this stage. And the crit is a blinded pilot. Not the worst crit to get as one of the first ones. Not brilliant, but could be worse. Could be a hull breach. Could be a fuel leak. But nothing for 066 to shoot at. Out of range, out of arc. HMP coming in here with its 180 arc, which is just great. It's fun to see some ships with like different arc mechanics, like the 180. Obviously, we don't have a huge amount of 180 arcs out there, but when you see them, it's quite fun. Oh, are we going to see a multi-missile pod? Oh, no calculate, can't multi-missile pod, so we'll have to just be a regular shot going into Cassian. 2 hits, not bad. 1 shield down on Cassian there. And Magva Yarro triggering to get that lock. Shame there's no arc there. It would be quite cool to give the U-Wing a turret as well. I don't know whether it would be needed, but it would be, you know what, it would be fun to have a turret on a U-Wing. But this is Cassian shooting, so lots of evades. No damage going through this time. But moving on to Arvel there. Range 1 with marksmanship. Oh, that's really poor. Oh, for a target lock. Nice evade there. Makes up for all the damage that 066 has taken so far, being able to avoid that. But going into the scoring, still just ahead going into turn 4. 5 points to 4 in my favour, but we're getting in close now. We've got a lot of ships ready to start dishing out some damage. Be very surprised if we don't start seeing some munitions coming down. Again, Dirge is still in that similar position of how is he going to move out of this. There's a lot of ships that could get in his way, so we shall see. We do have some thermal detonators going down from the Scimitar. Thermal detonators are honestly one of my favourite devices. When you are putting them down, I said to Wednesday when he was doing it, if you're popping 2 of them, pop the furthest one down first. So the one that's at speed 2, pop that down first, then pop the speed 1 down. It's just a lot easier to do and less likely for you to interfere with the original one that's gone down if you go 2 then 1 rather than 1 then 2. But for me, I think one of the most fun places to put thermal detonators is actually on the Empire bombers, because you can use the bank templates for that, so you can really get some incredible positioning for those thermal detonators. We actually did it with 4 TIE bombers, just spread them out in all directions. I think we dropped 8 in a turn. Didn't really do much, but it was fun to do. Ooh, Cassian coming straight in there aggressively. He's got the ablative plating, so if needed, can go over that obstacle and not have to worry about it. Kind of hoping now that the Andor is banking in, as we do have that target lock sat there. Arvel slooping right through. Definitely going to be taking 2 thermal dets in a moment. That's going to be... that could be quite dangerous. That could be shields down on the A-Wing. don't get to use those 3 of 8 dice against munitions and devices. Well, I guess devices, unfortunately, which is always a shame, but... Oh, let's see where the Onderon goes. Oh... Cheeky, looks like he might just have got out of arc as well there. And stealing the objective. Good solid play there, though. That's going to score him a good amount of points at the end of the turn, and without taking ships, that's going to stop me scoring, so... Objective control is still very key and very important in the game, so I just sometimes forget about it. You're not going to try that again, are you? Is Wes going to manage? Oh, there's more of a gap there this time, but still risky there. Those large bases, when you do the fast moves, they do get up the board quite quickly. Has he blocked Derek, though? That's the question. Oh no, Derek's already moved, sorry. Derek is not blocked. Derek has already moved. I had initiative this turn, so that's a... Derek's in a happy spot. He has prockets, so he is fully okay with that. He's out of the heavy laser cannon, bullseye, and too close for it anyway, but it's not a bad position to be in. I mean, the scimitar, it will be throwing 4 dice back, so still going to be interesting to see. And there are a lot of ships there that we're going to have to try and mark up to get Gavin through. Gavin doing the 4k turn there. Gavin also going to be taking a lot of thermal detonators. It's going to be a bit unfortunate, but Kullbee manages to stay far enough away not to get it. Can DIS and Dirge get far enough away to not have to worry about those thermals? Dirge has not got a lot of space to move into there, to be honest. Should be able to get away from it, but where he goes is actually a really, really good question at this point, because his opportunity to move there is getting very limited. I mean, he could do it too hard and try to skip him behind Kullbee, go over that obstacle. The straight's out of the question unless he goes really fast. Just having a look at his dial. Does have the 5 forward, so if he does the 5 forward, that... Oh no, I don't think that would actually get over Onderon. Unless he disengages and goes 1 hard to the top left, I don't think this is a great position for Dirge, but we'll have to see. Just doing the pattern analyzer on Gavin there, just trying to figure out what the best option for him was, whether he wanted to try and reacquire some locks or... So DIS, skipping past Kullbee. Out of Cassian's arc, still in Arvel's arc there. Okay, so 2 Talon. Gonna go over that rock, so definitely lose a shield. Will he take any more damage? Be interesting to see. But looks like he has got that proton cannon lined up, most likely onto Gavin there. Right, so thermal det's about to go off. Well, that was actually, sorry, that was for the obstacle there from the dirge, but thermal dets will go off. So we've got 2 hitting both Gavin and Arvel. So it looks like we're going to do Arvel's first. So damage and damage. That's 2 shields down on Arvel there for the thermal dets. Obviously, nothing and nothing on. Oh no, that is 1 hit on Gavin. Sorry, the lighting on the dice is not the best, unfortunately, but that is shields down on Gavin. So it would have been much more preferable to have blanks there, but this is now looking good for Dirge. He's got a proton cannon shot with Deadeye into Gavin, who cannot spend his green tokens. I love the proton cannons. I think they are a fantastic secondary weapon, and it's only right that they are. You can't shoot them every turn because they would be incredibly powerful if you line them up. Okay, so 2 crits. This is survivable. Very survivable when you get double evades there. That was very fortunate. That could have been scary. Gavin is a big key piece in this, providing those crits around. And it looks like Gavin is going to be going into Dirge. He's got the focus and the lock. Doesn't need the lock, but does have the focus and finding that crit on there. So that is going to be hit and a crit going through, so shields down. And the crit coming out is... looks like another blinded pilot. And DIS going in. Oh, nice shot onto Derek there. Natural evades though. And is that range 1? I think it might just be out. But Gavin is in such a nice position. He has got everything in his forward arc. Hit, crit onto Dirge, down to 1. What is the crit? This could be big. That's looks like a stunned or panicked pilot there. So lots and lots of stress onto Dirge. That is definitely not what you want to see for Wes there. But Gavin's ability coming in incredibly powerful. Checking if Arvel has marksmanship there. Looks like he does, and Gavin triggering as well, because he's just in range there to trigger that. Oh no, maybe no bullseye there, sorry. But another crit going through onto the scimitar. This time, a damaged engine. That's not ideal when you're that close to the board edge there. But now here we go, we have the Rockets coming in from Derek. Such an un-Star Warsy name, it's just the spelling that does it. Okay, marksmanship and Gavin, so that is triple crits going through. So 2 crits will be going into 066 here. And yep, Gavin is definitely... That's all 3 crits. First one up is a structural damage, then it's a direct hit, followed by another direct hit. So that is going to be the scimitar down, but it is in the I3 step, so still going to get to shoot. This still could be very bad for Derek here. It's a range 1 shot from the scimitar with a lock. Although blinded pilot does mean that he can't actually use that lock. You can only modify with the force, so that is unfortunate. So hoping for natural hot dice here from the scimitar. Oh, not quite what he wanted. And going to spend the focus and take no damage there. Huge point swing back in my favour. 5 points there for the scimitar. Didn't do bad, flew well, but just couldn't last there. Gavin again with those crits coming in massive. And more evades on my side. This night when we were playing, those green dice were just crazy. In all honesty, they were just absolutely insane at points. But really good for Wes that he's obviously taken that objective off me down in the bottom corner, bringing it to 10 points to 7 going into turn 5. So still well within Wes's grasp here with those objectives. Got 2 ships that are shields down, so if you can take either Arvel or Gavin down, some big points there. I mean, we could be looking at 6 to 8 points scored there if he can get either of those 2 ships down. And whilst Dirge only has 1 health, he comes back, so I'd have to kill him twice to actually score for him. And we've still got Prox Mines, we've still got Missile Pods, although Prox Mines won't be dropped now because that will be going in on Dirge, unless he wants to trigger the Dirge death. Could be interesting. But just to reiterate for Dirge, if you're not overly familiar, when you would be destroyed, you may spend 1 charge to reveal all of your face-down damage cards. If you do, discard each direct hit and each of your damage cards with the pilot trait. Then repair all of your face-up damage cards. So if you've got direct hits and pilot ones in there, you will be coming back with some health. If they're all ship ones, that's not so good. But it'll be interesting to see. Can I take Dirge down, trigger that? Would I be able to take Dirge down twice is the question. But that HMP is just saying no thank you and getting all the way around Cassian there. Reminding Cassian's got Ablative Plating, so could just go straight over that obstacle and not care for a turn. But we've got the 180 from Cassian. He's decided I've got that lock and I want to use it. Very nice to have that. I love that on the U-Wing. Just to be able to stop and spin. It's just fun. It really is just fun. Can be predictable, but at the same time, Derek just coming in there to try and see if he can second guess where Dirge is going to be. I think going after Dirge is going to have to be the play here for me, because I don't think I'll get enough guns on DIS. He has the ability just to get out of there. A bit unfortunate for him, could have been in the fight a lot sooner, and the Onderon, that's 8 health to try and chew through. I do think Dirge is going to have to be the big target here, but looking to try and trap DIS there. Wondering if DIS is going to try and do a K-turn of some sort. I'm going to anticipate that's the 5k, but it looks like he was tempted by the 1 Talon. Not bad there from Derek, getting Arvel there. Be able to push up a little bit and see if he could actually get some damage on DIS, and just to be safe. But we've got the 3k from Gavin, who had the stress taken away from him by Cassian in the activation phase. So he's looking definitely to try and catch Dirge, as well as Kullbee getting into a nice position there. So all the pieces are being lined up here for going into Dirge. It's just as to whether Dirge decides to play ball. Obviously, he's got a lot of stress he needs to clear, so he's not going to have any tokens regardless. And we actually have a bump this time. Only the second bump of the game, if I remember rightly, which is impressive with how close these ships have actually been throughout the entire game there. From turn 2 onwards, they've all been right in that central area, so impressive that we've only had the 1 bump throughout. But it is going to be Dirge to fire first, who doesn't have bullseye, so cannot do the proton cannons, which are recharged at this point. I just have not done it on the overlay, so apologies, but yeah, looking like he's going to try for that longer range shot into Arvel. I think that is a good shout. I definitely think that's going to be the best option there. You've got 3 ships that... Oh, was he going in for Kullbee? time is up. No, he's going in for Arvel, so time's up. This is the last engagement phase, so we'll see how this goes. Potential high scoring there. Hit crit onto Arvel, that could be enough. Not with evades like that. Does still have 2 more opportunities with DIS and the Andor. So this is Kullbee, I think. And that is going to be dirged down. We have just missed DIS issues here. I'm assuming we're going to go back to that in a moment. But Dirge has just gone down. So we're going to go through those cards and see which ones we end up getting rid of. So 5 cards to check through for any direct hits. So there is Blinded Pilot, a direct hit, and the Wounded Pilot. All pilots and direct hits coming out. So they will get discarded. The face down ones get repaired. Dirge is back with 3 hull, which is enough to be very frustrating. Obviously, you only score when he gets removed from the table. But I've got a couple more shots to go there. So this is Gavin. 3 hits and a crit. And that's dirged down again. I thought it was going to be trickier than that, to be honest. But the green dice, for some reason, really have not liked... Where's this game? Really seems to be against him, so... But lined up some good shots there to be able to capitalise on that opportunity if it did arise. So if Gavin hadn't been able to do it, we obviously had Derek there to follow up. Gavin's ability with that, changing a hit to a crit, is just incredible. DIS not having a great run there, but DIS has his ability, so he's going to take 3 depletes. Oh, to still only get 1, which does go through onto Arvel. So Arvel is down to 1. Now, Wes can't actually match my... Oh, that's a little bit spicy there. I'm going to be using DIS's ability now to get a load of strains. So it's a hit crit on DIS, this, and the crit is damage sensor array. Oh, that, a direct hit there would have been rather nasty. But as I was saying, if the Andor can take out Arvel, Wes would still be 1 point behind, but we've got that. So, just to shield off the Andor, can the HMP make it a 1 point game? I know we haven't put the tokens down, but just for reference, DIS would actually have 3 depletes and 2 strains to go along with their stress token there at the moment, but obviously it's the final round. No need to put all those tokens down. Obviously we know they've got the strain if they need it. Nothing else is going to be shooting there. Can the Andor do it? 1 crit. Elusive as well. No, we've got the evade. So Arvel does survive this round. The green dice were very much in my favour. At the end there, the point score 14 to 10 in my favour. Really well played on the objectives there from Wes, keeping himself right in this game there by capturing all those objectives. Just unfortunate that those green dice, once again, kind of disappointing for him there. But again, as I said last week, great to have some games with Wes in store. Always brilliant to have that. So, Wes, thank you very much. And yeah, fantastic. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. Obviously, would like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas from everyone here at Out of Arc Games. We hope that you enjoy however you are celebrating this year. Thank you again for all your support this year as well with the channel. Again, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.